Take one, and this is the only take. This is a response to Quentin Tarantino's video about the 20 favorite movies that he's seen since 1992. His top 20 movies since 1992. Now, when I saw the movies that he'd picked, I was so fascinated that I went out and bought this camera, and this is the first time that I'm using it. Some of the movies on his list I agreed with that they were excellent movies, although they didn't make it onto my list. For example, Lars von Trier, Dogville, Linklater's Dazed and Confused, Boogie Nights by Paul Thomas Anderson, Lost in Translation, The Matrix. The movies that he picked that I thought were really terrible and had no place on a list like this were his favorite movie, Battle Royale, a Japanese movie, Audition by Takashi Miike. Thought that was just awful. Shaun of the Dead, Team America, Unbreakable, Police Story 3, all of these had no place on a list like this. So I decided to make my own list, and here it is. The first movie, I should say that Tarantino didn't order his movies from 1 to 20. He had one movie that was the favorite, Battle Royale, and then he named 19 others in alphabetical order. I also am not putting these in hierarchical order, but do have a certain rationale for grouping them together. Whereas Tarantino didn't choose any documentary films, I have 4, and I'll save those till the last. So the first 16 that I have are fiction. The first one is Paul Thomas Anderson's Magnolia. Loved the movie, even though it's flawed. These are the movies, remember, that I admire the most and love the most. They may not be the greatest that deserve posterity. They are the movies that I love the most. The next two are both by Lars von Trier. Breaking the Waves, I think, may be the most essential movie of the last 20 years. Number 3, also by Lars von Trier, is The Five Obstructions, a very funny and very touching documentary that he made about his friend and mentor, the Danish filmmaker Jørgen Leith. My numbers 4 and 5 are by 2 Romanian filmmakers. I don't know how to pronounce their names. The Death of Mr. Lazarescu by Cristi Puy, and 4 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days by Christian Mungiu. Both the real thing. Reality hits you, ton of bricks, Romania. Don't miss them. I've kind of cheated on my numbers 6 and 7, which are both trilogies. The first one by the Danish writer-director Nicholas Winding Refn, R-E-F-N, known as the Pusher Trilogy. Number 7 is the trilogy by the Belgian writer Lucas Belvaux. In English, the movies are called On the Run, An Amazing Couple, and After the Life. They're all interlocking. Major characters are in one movie, the minor characters of another. So there are 3 perfect wholes that together also form a perfect whole. Number 8, by Belgian filmmakers, the Dardenne brothers. I could have picked any one of their 4 feature films that I've seen, but I've chosen their first film, The Promise, as number 8. Number 9, probably the hardest movie to watch of all the ones that I've picked, is by the young Swedish director Lukas Moodysson. Lilja Forever is the name. Number 10, another trilogy, Krzysztof Kieslowski, or Kieslowski, the Polish director. Red, White, and Blue are the names of the 3 movies. Number 11, Henry Fool by Hal Hartley. Number 12, Peter Weir's Fearless, starring the great Jeff Bridges, from a novel by Rafael Iglesias, who also wrote the screenplay. Number 13, Talk to Her, by Pedro Almodovar. I saw that after my mother died and found it very moving. Number 14, another Spanish language film by the Mexican director Alejandro González Iñárritu, called Amores Perros. Number 15, I probably put more thought into than any other selection, and that is Ghost Dog by Jim Jarmusch. It's the hippest movie of the lot. Number 16, Sam Mendes's American Beauty, probably the most mainstream of the movies that I've picked. As for the 4 documentaries, 17 through 20, Capturing the Friedmans by Andrew Jarecki is a must-see. It's not a movie that you think you want to see, but I'm telling you, it's great. Number 18, Darwin's Nightmare, fantastic documentary. Number 19, Agnes Varda's The Gleaners and I. And number 20, Herzog's story of Timothy Treadwell, Grizzly Man. So, thanks for listening. I may have a couple more minutes here to put in some honorable mentions. Of the Robert Altman films, I would choose Gosford Park in the last 20 years. By Gus Van Sant, I recommend Elephant. I usually like Kevin Smith. I think that Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back is the funniest movie I've seen since Groundhog Day. Richard Linklater doesn't make a bad movie ever, and Waking Life is the one I most admire. I like all 3 movies by the American-Iranian Ramin Bahrani. The 2 times that David Cronenberg collaborated with Viggo Mortensen, Eastern Promises and A History of Violence, great movies. I love most of the Coen brothers, all of Wes Anderson's films, and except for Death Proof, I like all of Tarantino's films too. Finally, 2 of the most watchable films in the last 20 years, The Last of the Mohicans by Michael Mann and John Frankenheimer's Ronin. Thanks for watching.